Okay, so you and I had a great visit with Ms. Burke during her ILT time. Will you remind me what ILT stands for? Is independent
Increased learning time.
Increased learning time. And so that's the time when we now have teachers across the school who are supporting the literacy work for students who need interventions, even if they're not teaching that content. For example, she's a math teacher,
Correct.
but she is going through PL and learning how to support students in small group phonics interventions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we went in and supported her and modeled for her how to implement the routines for UFly.
Right.
And so what did you see during the model for her?
Just going back to before, she was very adamant at stating that she's a math and science teacher. This is not what she wanted or felt comfortable with doing in reference to teaching phonics and foundational skills. So once we got into the classroom and I mentioned that you were going to come in and model, she instantly kind of perked up, which was good for her because, you know, she is a drill sergeant when it comes to teaching math and science. So what I noticed initially is that she was welcoming. She allowed you to come in and take over the classroom. She finished up her previous lesson and she automatically just turned everything over to you and I to prepare her. She listened. She asked questions. She participated. She was well engaged, which kind of showed me that she wanted that modeling session. She knew that she was not strong in what we were asking her to do, and she was determined to understand each component of the UFly lesson, which was great.
That is what you just said, the way that she was welcoming and welcoming that support. That to me is a testament to you and Mr. Hall and Ms. Roddenberry in the way that y'all are creating a culture of learning from each other. I don't know it all. You don't know it all. None of us have all the answers.
Right.
And so the fact that y'all have created that safe space for us to be able to say, I don't have all the answers. I think that's one reason that you've got teachers that are allowing us to come in and do that work like that. So thank you.
Thank you.
How could we adjust the activities to meet the needs when the classroom consists of students with various abilities?
Well, I think what we've done, what our AP, Ms. Roddenberry, now Ms. Johnson, what she's done, she's taken those groups and she's placed them in the groups in which they, I want to say, landed when they did their spelling inventory. So with that, we have provided support, PLs to everyone that can provide that support with getting a small group. So our groups will be very, very small. And because we have those students on different levels, we also have students that, you know, did not place or will not need the foundational skills that you fly. So those students will also be placed in a small group where they'll get more advanced activities, things that are different. They may do a book club. They may do some things because what I'm thinking is there will be math teachers that will be teaching those advanced students, so they may interject some math word problems and things like that. So I think the activities just need to be very purposeful, small grouped, and you know, the teachers are really going to have to prepare in order to be able to effectively implement that within the time constraint that we're having for that IoT.
So when, you know, we've met with Ms. Roddenberry previously and kind of looked over the data, and so I love that y'all are considering those students who during that ILT time don't necessarily need phonics support, but they do need teacher support, and we don't want to just have them continue reading and just not ever getting that conversation, because we know that in becoming a strong reader, it takes two main pockets: word recognition skills, which comes from your phonics, and, you know, irregular word reading, but also building language through conversation with students and building vocabulary and asking questions and looking at language structure. And those students need to be brought into the fold too to increase all of that.
Correct.
So I love that y'all are thinking about book clubs, the teachers leading book clubs, and even those math teachers bringing in word problems.
Right. Yes.
And so, yeah, that's huge. You guys are creating a culture here that everybody, and I know it's not happening overnight. We're having teachers with anxiety that need that continued support, but I do believe you are creating a culture here where it's all hands on deck.
Yes.
It's just going to take some time.
Yes. And we don't have any pushback, which is a great thing.
Yeah. Let's see. We just talked about the higher level learners and what y'all are doing there with the book clubs and all of that, so that's great. What do you see as possible next steps to continue supporting Ms. Burke in providing small group literacy intervention for our struggling students? So some next steps past where we just went in and modeled and had those conversations. We've already done PL, but then we went into the classroom and supported her there. What do you see next?
Well, I think definitely giving her some feedback from what we've just seen, giving her some accolades, giving her a couple of nuggets that she can probably use as she continues to move forward, providing her opportunity not just to maybe, like I said, teach another student, but also going in and observing other teachers that are doing the same thing. Maybe she can go in and observe the 5th grade ELA teachers, or maybe a 3rd grade ELA teacher that who has that phonics piece kind of down pat because they've been teaching it. Maybe do some recordings as well, and then even looking at videos. We can find some standard-based videos that she can probably watch. But just continuing her growth, because she has gotten excited. That's the main thing, because I she really was not excited about doing this.
Yeah.
So now that we see that she is excited about having to teach the U-Fly, having to teach the foundational skills and the phonics for the students, just keeping her moving forward. Providing you some more time to go in. I can possibly go in some days and give her some support. Even Mr. Hall and Ms. Roddenberry can go in, but just continuing that growth. She's on a good path to continual growth, and we don't want to stop there.
Remind me where she's from.
She's from New Jersey.
New Jersey. So I liked when she mentioned that even to the students, because whenever we first started the U-Fly lesson, and I don't know what word it was we were saying, but she brought in the concept to students how dialect and the way we say words, if we don't learn how we say them in standard American English,
Right.
that may cause us to have trouble with spelling. And so I like that she talked to them about how the way we speak at home and the language we come with and the dialect we come to school with is honored, and we don't change that about them, but that we do have to learn how they're spelled indicates in standard American English how they should technically be pronunciated so that we spell them correctly. But the fact that she's from New Jersey and has that accent and that dialect coming from there and can speak into how it's different from the Southern dialect.
Right.
We need to have those conversations with kids.
Yeah, and she does. She will, she will listen to her students and she'll ask them to repeat it, and then so she'll teach them how to say it correctly.
Yeah.
In standard terms, but she also allows them the opportunity to be able to, just like you said, to speak. She's not trying to change the way they talk, but she's just trying to make how they say it. I kind of think about it. I taught in Bill, and so we will always say kind of code switch.
Yeah.
Where the audience that you're speaking to or with, and so it kind of helps them to be able to be understood a little bit better. So. And
especially at the 5th grade level, it's fine to start having those conversations with students so that they realize there is a difference sometimes. Not that you want to pretend you're something you're not. That's not what we're trying to say, but words in standard American English are typically pronounced a certain way because of the way they're spelled.
Right, correct.
So, yeah, but I thought she did a great job of having that conversation with them and honoring the dialect that they have.
Yes.
So how will we be able to determine that her capacity and confidence in effectively teaching those foundational skills has increased and that it's actually transferring to student growth?
Well, definitely seeing it in the classroom with students in their work in the classroom. They're able to apply it. We'll hear it as the students are talking to each other, are talking to their teachers. We'll see it on our formative assessment. We use progress learning, so the students will be performing better in that capacity with their formative and summative assessments. Definitely, we should see some growth on our map when we take it in the spring, and with that growth on those different types of assessment platforms, we should definitely see some growth on our milestones, because fifth grade they have to do the reading, the writing, the math, and also the science part.
Right.
So that's a lot, and
well, now that's what we want to continue this conversation with our teachers too, because she's fifth grade and she's having to go back and do some interventions with something that you don't. It's hard for us to see how's that going to translate into Georgia milestones in writing,
right,
but it should,
mm-hmm.
because just like for example today when the word frock came up, you're not just teaching them how to decode the word frock. She went to the computer and looked up frock for the students so that they could see that was a type of clothing.
Correct.
So she's building vocabulary at the same time as she's going back and teaching them decoding skills.
Right, and she's modeling that, if it's a word that you don't know, go find it, go look it up so that you can know it. When you see it the next time, you're able to use it. And so, because I don't know if you noticed, but the students continue to say frock.
Yeah, they did.
So,
they did.
Even with the word frock, like, they were like, oh, what? We see that all the time, with coffee and things like that. So, it was great. I think she saw the light bulbs of her students.
Yeah.
And so I think when she saw those light bulbs, she definitely knew, because notice how she was kind of monotone in the beginning, but towards the end she was upbeat, and she was that teacher that we always see when she's teaching that math and that science.
You could tell the moment she gained a little bit of confidence, she got involved in the it was almost like a co-teaching situation, and it wasn't just me modeling or you modeling.
Yeah.
There was one more point I was gonna. The other thing we talk about with explicit instruction is making sure that we give students something to hang their hat on, so to speak. And so when we're talking about learning these new sounds, if kids are struggling with some of these new sounds, spelling correspondences, then we talk about mouth placement. What is your tongue doing? What does your mouth look like? And so she immediately, without even realizing that she was doing what structural literacy tells us to do, she talked to them about, when we did the TH sound, she talked to them about how your tongue is between your teeth. And so she's doing those things as a teacher naturally that science of reading and structural literacy is telling us to do. Even though she's a fifth grade teacher, she's going back to do that. And when she did that, one of her students even said, oh yeah, my tongue is on the top of my mouth, kind of.
Right.
So, yeah, it was great. I thought it was a good lesson. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you.
You're so welcome. Thank you.